Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of Ethereum has fallen below that first support box, but currently we are still holding above this second support box, which I will be talking about in just a moment, alongside the Ethereum RSI on the 3-day chart, which is now entering into oversold territories for the first time in years. On top of that, I will also be covering the Ethereum estimated leverage ratio, which is still sitting at record highs, and I'll be talking about the Bitcoin dominance towards the end of this video, because right now we are seeing a massive breakout to the upside, which is not good for the altcoins. All of that and more in this video, so definitely stick around to the end so that you don't miss out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, you might as well leave a like down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. It's right here, we're on the Ethereum to US dollar chart on the daily time frame, and these are three important areas of support that I talked about in yesterday's Ethereum update video. So if you want to know how I got these levels of support or why they're important, definitely check out my last Ethereum update video that I posted yesterday. But anyway, all we really need to know is the actual price levels that these are coming into play. First of all, the highest box, which we have broken through with a successful daily candle close below this box, that was coming in between 2,650 and 2.9k. And I mentioned yesterday on the channel that the moment we break below that exact box, which basically goes down to the September low, so I said the moment we break below that low right there, then it's very likely we're going to drop straight down to this next box right here, and that's exactly what we have been doing so far. And at least so far at the time of this video, we are finding some short-term support at this exact support box that I talked about yesterday on the channel, and right now this is coming in between 2.3k and 2.4k. If we see a major move below 2.3k with confirmation, once again we need to see confirmation anytime we break an important level, such as a daily candle close for example, then in that case honestly we don't have a lot of support to the downside, at least until we start coming into contact with the June and July lows, which are coming into play at around 17 to 1800 US dollars per Ethereum. Other than that, another possible level of support to pay attention to is the $2,000 level, simply based on the fact that that could be a psychological level of support. A lot of people would be focusing on 2,000 if we do move any lower, but because that $2,000 level isn't really based on any other technicals other than the fact that it's just a round number, I wouldn't really expect $2,000 as major support for Ethereum, perhaps just some short-term support if of course we break this initial support box, which we are currently testing, coming in at around 2.3k to 2.4k once again. Now taking a quick look at the 3-day chart for Ethereum, and of course looking in the RSI, we are still seeing a strong downtrend at the moment, meaning that the price is clearly still looking bearish here, at least in the shorter term. And as I've been saying time and time again recently on the channel, I would not be looking for any sort of recovery until at least we start seeing the RSI on the larger time frames begin some sort of recovery, breaking above these downward sloping lines of resistance. Right now, this descending line of resistance in the 3-day RSI for Ethereum is coming into play at around 36 in the RSI, and currently the RSI is sitting at around 28 to 29 approximately. Now, we've still got just over 2 days to go until we see the next 3 daily candle close. So between now and that candle close in a couple of days from now, obviously the RSI can change these values. But as of right now, currently the Ethereum RSI on the 3-day chart is sitting in oversold territories for the first time since around the end of 2019. This means that we are currently in a very rare opportunity. Once again, this has not happened since the end of 2019, over 2 years ago. Even the March 2020 crash didn't put us into oversold territories on the 3-day chart, and even the crash that we saw back in May last year still did not put us into oversold territories on the 3-day RSI. So obviously, just because the 3-day RSI for Ethereum is sitting in oversold territories, that does not confirm the exact bottom or anything like that, because as I just said, I would still be looking for a breakout to the upside in the RSI above this descending line of resistance before looking for any sort of recovery in the price action. But considering the fact that this chart is oversold for the first time in over 2 years, my personal Ethereum strategy right now is to simply dollar cost average into Ethereum and hold for the longer term. I used that exact same strategy around 2 years ago when we saw all of that bearish price action back then, and so obviously you can see how that turned out in the coming months and the coming years for Ethereum. And by the way, for anyone new to the crypto market, of course this is a very significant downturn in the crypto market, but it is certainly not anything that we haven't seen before. For example, looking at the downturn that we saw in the middle of last year, that was around a 60% pullback in the price of Ethereum, and then looking back in that March 2020 crash, that saw the price of Ethereum drop by around 70%. And right now, at the time of this video, the current downturn from the all-time high to the lowest point right here, so far at least, has resulted in around a 52 to 53% pullback for Ethereum. So as I just said, yes, yes, that is a significant downturn. I'm definitely not downplaying it, but it is not like Ethereum hasn't seen this before. This is actually pretty standard stuff for Ethereum. And I mean, you can see in these last few times as we approached minus 60% and minus 70%, even after those massive pullbacks, the price of Ethereum still recovered in the coming months, usually around 3 to 6 months after we see the initial crash to the downside, if we are talking about crashes of this size. Now, taking a really quick look in the Ethereum estimated leverage ratio, which, believe it or not, right now the Ethereum estimated leverage ratio is still increasing into record highs. This simply means that there is a lot of open interest and a lot of leverage that is still currently active on exchanges, at least relative to the amount of Ethereum on exchanges. And recently I have been getting some comments saying, are we going to squeeze out all of this leverage? And yes, it is only a matter of time. Of course, we don't know exactly when this is going to happen, but sometime possibly in the near future, we will eventually squeeze out a lot of this leverage in the markets. And the more open interest that is currently active and the more leverage that is currently active in the market, the bigger the squeeze will be. And if you have been watching some of my recent Ethereum update videos over the past 1 to 2 weeks, I have been comparing this price action to the June and July price action, where we saw the price of Ethereum drop to the downside while the leverage was increasing, because I'm sure you can see the similarities between the current price action and what we saw back then. And yes, what we saw back then led into that short squeeze that we saw towards the end of July, which means yes, it is still possible that we could see a short squeeze moving forward, but keep in mind it is also a possibility that we could see a long squeeze moving forward. So just be careful out there, especially if you're trading on leverage. We could see a lot more volatility. And for those of you that missed it, I strongly recommend you checking out my Bitcoin update video that I posted around a couple hours ago on the channel, because in that video I talked about how a liquidation event could mark the bottom and possibly mark the beginning of a new uptrend if we see enough volume coming into play. So once again, definitely check out that video if you missed it. And speaking about Bitcoin, taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance charts here on the daily time frame, because right now the Bitcoin dominance is seeing a massive move to the upside above this descending line of resistance. And so as I've been letting you know recently on the channel, if the Bitcoin dominance sees a break below this support level coming in at around 39%, then in that case, that would be bullish for the altcoin markets. But on the other hand, if we simply continue to hold that support level, and more importantly, if we see a breakout above this level, which I said was coming in at around 40 to 41%, then in that case, we could see a further move to the upside in the Bitcoin dominance, which would be bearish for the altcoins. And of course, that is what is playing out right now. And it's actually very normal for the altcoins to be losing more value than Bitcoin during bearish price action. And to be completely honest, I was surprised that this move to the upside in the Bitcoin dominance didn't start sooner in the correction. And one of the biggest catalysts that has resulted in all of this bearish price action in the crypto markets has been the Nasdaq entering into a major pullback. And so if you want some technical analysis on the Nasdaq 100, definitely check out my Bitcoin update video once again that I posted only a couple hours ago, because in that video I covered this chart in more detail. And as always, if you want to get extra updates on the crypto markets throughout the day just like this, make sure you check out my Twitter, and the link to my Twitter is in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. If you made it this far in the video, you might as well leave a like down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important updates that I post every single day. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you here on the channel. I can't thank you enough. And before you click off, you might as well check out one of these uploads if you haven't already. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.